Hello, everyone. Learning how to develop your psychic abilities might be easier than you think. Today, I'm going to talk about how to strengthen your natural abilities that you already have. Your abilities of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, which simply put are your abilities to see, hear, and feel above and beyond your normal sensory range. And these techniques and this information I'm going to give you are simple, and they are the building blocks of expanding your gifts. They strengthen your ability to receive intuitive information. So here we go. Let's start with clairvoyance, clear seeing. Now, to become clairvoyant and then strengthen it once we are clairvoyant, we start by using simple visualization techniques. So do this. Close your eyes, and in your mind's eye, picture the number 1. Just hold that image of a number 1, any number 1, in your mind for just a few seconds. And when you're comfortable with this process, let that 1 go and picture the number 2 with your eyes closed. And then when you're done with that, let go of the number 2 and then use the number 3 all the way up to the number 10. And when you're able to close your eyes and easily see the numbers 1, the numbers 2, number 3 in sequence from 1 to 10, you've accomplished your very first step. Now, if you're struggling with this, here's a pro tip. Write the number down on a piece of paper. I've got one printed. Hopefully you can see it. You can use a magic marker. You can use a colorful crayon. It doesn't have to be black and white, but maybe something colorful will be easier for you. But use this number and just stare at it for 5 seconds. Then close your eyes and see if you can visualize the number that you just were looking at. And that little technique right there can help you a lot. And once you get the hang of it, you just go. If you're bored, once you're bored of doing numbers, which can be relatively quickly, move on to other items. You might visualize colors or specific types of flowers or animals or items, anything that you would enjoy visualizing. It only takes a couple of minutes every day to do this very quick clairvoyance technique. Now, once you're ready to advance the technique a little bit more, do the same technique with your eyes open. All you do is you keep your eyes open as you picture a number 1 in your mind's eye or whatever image you want to focus on. Okay, let's go on to more of opening up our third eye, which just means opening up our psychic abilities. Close your eyes and visualize something that represents opening to you, something that symbolizes that you're now open to receiving information from spirit, from your intuition. Some people imagine or picture with their eyes closed a candle being lit. It symbolizes you're open and ready to receive. Some people visualize a flower bud and it opens into a big flower. There's no right or wrong here. Just find what you're comfortable with. You might imagine an open sign. Maybe it was closed and you flip it to open, or you flick a switch and the neon comes on, open, open. You could imagine a book opening, the pages opening in it, or a doorway opening. And once you do this with your eyes closed and can clearly visualize it, put some energy behind it, do the same thing. Imagine that candle or that flower bud opening with your eyes open. All right, moving on to clairaudience, clear hearing. Clairaudience, clear hearing. Now remember, you can pause this video and do some exercises and then come back to it, or you can make notes and do the exercises later or more and more as you progress. Clairaudience, clear hearing. Take a moment to just pause and listen. Listen to with your physical ears to the sounds that are all around you. It is just that simple. Really tune in to those little sounds that you don't normally pay attention to, and notice what you hear. Try to differentiate each unique sound. Like I can hear my computer fan going. Maybe you can hear a bird chirping or squawking outside, or perhaps you can, even if you're inside, you can hear the whoosh of trees with the wind blowing through them, or a bush with the wind blowing the leaves. Perhaps you can hear very faintly an airplane going overhead, or traffic in the distance, or even the hum of your refrigerator or dishwasher or whatever you have. And expand on this. The more you can stretch your hearing perception, the better. What do you hear on your right-hand side versus your left-hand side? What do you hear all around you? All right, we can take this exercise a step further by using instrumental music, which means music that does not have singing or chanting on it. It is only instruments. You can find this kind of instrumental music anywhere. Perhaps you have an old CD or DVD, but it's readily available on YouTube or any of the services, just whatever you enjoy hearing. Some people like classical music, it doesn't matter, just as long as it's only instruments. So listen to the music and choose an instrument and focus on that one instrument. For example, maybe you hear a violin in the music. Okay, focus on the tune of that violin, just so you can hear that instrument above all others. Kind of like Peter and the Wolf. I don't know if I'm dating myself, but anyway, if you're having difficulty, just take a deep breath in, exhale, and again, go back to focusing. Or choose another instrument. Maybe there's a flute or a trumpet or piano. You get the idea. And now the next one is we turn the music off. We're sitting in a quiet location, and we're going, just like we did with our clairvoyance, we're going to imagine music or imagine sounds. It doesn't have to be music. So as you sit quietly, close your eyes and imagine the sound of a guitar or another instrument playing. Just hear it. Imagine a favorite song playing in your head. Here's a nice one. Think about the sound of a loved one's voice as they speak or sing. Imagine the sound of a baby laughing. And you can even go farther with that. Think of a distinct sound of a tool, like a drill or a jackhammer, if that's easier for you. Just practice these every day as you try to imagine the sounds in your mind. So we're going to move on to clairsentience, which is clear feeling. And I will tell you that everything in this world has some type of energy within it. It can be a lot of energy. It can be very, very low energy, but there is energy in these things. And the ability to receive information from the residual energy of memories that are in an object. You can touch the object or just connect with that object energetically. That ability is called psychometry. So here's some ways to have fun with it. You can ask somebody to give you a photograph, a real photograph, if they have one. I will tell you that when you're first starting out, if this is new to you, it's wonderful to have a photograph that you can hold in your hand. It is not necessary. You can do it remotely, but have somebody give you a picture, a photograph with a simple picture on it, and hold the photograph. And as you do, you don't have to stare at it, just hold it. Just notice if there's any images or feelings that come to you, again, you might want to close your eyes and avoid the seeing distractions. See if you feel any sensations. You might get tastes or smells or anything you hear while holding the photo. You might even receive information about the picture itself or information from the environment where the photo has been, where it's been stored, or even who the owner is, or information about the owner. So that can be a fun technique to do. Another one is picking up a personal item belonging to someone else. And in fact, I say pick up, but it's really have somebody give you an item that belongs to them, that's charged, that they, maybe a necklace that they wear a lot, or their watch. And I've got my phone here, and metal objects do have a tendency to work well when you're first starting out with this. Just simply hold the object in your hand, close your eyes, and check your senses. Just see what you see, no pun. Notice what you hear, or if you see something, if a taste or smell comes to you. And it could just be a feeling or a knowing. You don't know how you know, but you just know. And once you do that, say what it is you're receiving, and then confirm with the person that you receive the object from. You might be very, very surprised at how you do. All right, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. I'm going to go a little bit farther into more advanced activities. And we're going to talk about intentional attraction, which is moving your awareness outwards. Yes, some people call it a psychic answer. So think about somebody you'd like to say hello to. And it can be somebody that's local, and it can be somebody far off in a distance. It does not matter. All you do is you close your eyes, relax your tension, release it, and get in a quiet frame of mind. So you do not want the TV on when you're doing this right next to you. Then, as you're focusing on that person, what they look like, what they feel like, what they sound like, send a gentle hello over to them. Hello. And here's an interesting tip. It doesn't have to be a person. It could even be an animal, a pet. Just make it a very light, gentle hello. And then be quiet, get your eyes closed, release your tension, and see if you get a hello or something back. You might hear a hello, but you also might feel a feeling or receive a color, a picture, or a different word in response. And once you do that, you have to notice it. They're very supple, and it may come in as a flash. Then do the same thing. Send another hello. Think about the person or animal. Send another hello, or send them a picture of something you'd like to convey. Maybe it's simple, like a blue circle or a green square. Or you can do something more advanced, like the picture of a sailboat or a car. You just show it very gently to them. And even, you don't have to send them a picture. You could even just send a feeling to them. That will suffice. So you're sending out your awareness. Another wonderful technique is to manifest something in your life, attract something into your life. Now we're sending out and we're receiving again. We're using this aura, our intent, our consciousness. More on that later, but make a plan in your life to attract an event or an item into your world this week. In other words, focus on something that you want to bring into your awareness. You can choose a word, an event, a topic, even a specific person if you want to. It can be something simple like strawberries or blueberries, or it can be something more complex like a specific band. You could even think of a specific song that you want to come into your life in the next week, only the next week, so it's the near future, or a phrase that's not often heard, like honeybees or whatever it is. And you just close your eyes and very clearly, you say it in your mind clearly with energy, or you can say it out loud. You can say to the universe, bring me strawberries this week, or bring me honeybees. And then the next part is to notice if it shows up in your life in the next 7 days. You might open up a magazine and there's a picture of strawberries, big and bright, even with a scratch and sniff on it. Or you're in traffic and you pull behind a truck, and on the side of the truck are all these honeybees and a lovely honeycomb. It is important in this to stay open to the possibilities of how these things will manifest in your life. You may overhear somebody talking about blueberries or honeybees, or hear it in a movie, something to verify that you've put out, and now you're receiving that request back into your life. You know, they talk about coincidences. Like I say, each one of these things is a building block for something more, like the coincidences of always saying 111 on your clock, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and on and on. But do these, the others will come. Build it, they will come. All right, let's see. So another fun thing to do is, and this one you're going to have somebody work with you on. It can be your kids if they're home, or a friend, or a family member, it doesn't matter. But take an object that has a lot of energy on it. It could be your keys, or maybe a sweater or shirt that you wear all the time, anything that's really charged, and give it to the person that's working with you, and you step outside of the house and let them take a moment to hide the object. And then when you come back inside the house, see if you can connect with the item and feel where it's located. You can think, okay, is it upstairs or is it downstairs? Is it up high or is it down low near the floor? You can think, is it hidden on top of something, or is it like under something, like a blanket or a book? Is it in a specific room? Maybe you get a picture. Oh, it's in the kitchen. It's on the patio. Well, no, it should be inside the house. But imagine that you're connecting with the energy of the item to find it. Perhaps you're drawn one way or the other. And I have demonstrated this a number of times. Sometimes we'll take I haven't done it with my phone. I've done it with metal pens a lot. I have never done it with a wooden pencil, but metal pens I can do. In a group of 25 to 40 people, I'll charge up the pen just by holding it in my hand. I'll turn it over. I'll walk way the heck away. They hide it. Somebody takes a pen and hides it, and I come back in the room and I find it. And the way I do that in that very big group is I say, okay, is it on the one side of the room or is it on the other side? Which one am I pulled to? Okay, it's not there, it's over here. Is it farther away or is it closer to me? Okay, it's farther away, so I go back to the second half of it, and by the process of illumination, you absolutely can find the person who is holding that pen. So practice makes perfect on that. You might be surprised what you can do. And plus, if you're working with your family or somebody, a friend, you know, it can be fun. One thing I would mention to you is make a little journal or notes of your impressions. You don't have to. Everybody around me did decades ago when I was learning this, but I didn't. It is a good idea because it gives you a record of your progress and improvement. If you don't get the person's full 3 names, Jared, Renee, Smith, I don't know what it is, but then you think, oh, I can't do this. But as you look at your journal, you'll see you're improving more and more. And it's also incredibly good practice. So take a moment in a quiet place to release and relax your tension, close your eyes, and just use your clairaudience, your seeing, your hearing, and your feeling to notice things in and about you. In other words, pay attention to your body just for 10 minutes. It's really your antenna. It's your aura. that is receiving this information, and note the impressions that you get, and they're very often quite subtle. Notice if you receive an image in your mind's eye. Those images can come through in a flash, but they do come through. Maybe you feel a physical sensation, a pressure or a little tingling somewhere, or maybe you feel an emotion that you didn't have when you right before you started, joy or sadness or whatever it is. Maybe you hear a word or a song or a name or phrases. Or even you might have just frankly a sense of knowing. You don't know how you know it, but you know it. No matter how subtle it is, you can either notice it or write it down for your own betterment to see your progress. Accessing your psychic gifts takes time. If you don't feel something right away, or you don't understand something right away, here's a pro tip. Ask for clarification. I was one time decades ago, but I was in a room with a young lady who was channeling information, and she channeled it so quickly that she spoke fast and no one could understand the information. And she hadn't realized that you can say, slow down, or I need more, make me understand a little bit better, whatever the information is. So we've turned on our psychic intuition, our ESP sense, extrasensory perception. Now we need to know how we can close it down. And we want to always be able to close it and get grounded. And why do we do this? Because if you don't learn how to control your abilities, you'll be picking up energies all day long. And that can really affect your physical and emotional well-being. So all you need to do is this: close your eyes, and in your mind, remember that flower that bloomed open? Well, imagine that flower closing back up into its bud. Or if you imagined a candle, imagine the flame, you're blowing out the flame. Or the book, it's closing. Or the door is closing. And you're grounding yourself and saying, okay, time not to accept other energy. So practice these fun techniques, just a couple of minutes every day. They will absolutely help you in a big way, not only with your psychic development, but as a foundation, and more will automatically build on it if you so desire. Remember that development is fun and stress-free. Don't put pressure on yourself to master things right away. Play around with these things and find the ones that work for you and that are most enjoyable. Be lighthearted, and you might be amazed at the progress you make. I wish you the very best in your psychic development journey, and wish you well. Namaste.